Those were the first words I spoke to my neighbor, Rebecca Martinez, that Tuesday morning. Her 7-year-old son, Tyler, had trampled through my prize-winning tomatoes. Again. My name is David Chen, and I've lived at 1247 Maple Street for 12 years. 12 peaceful years of tending my garden, growing vegetables that fed my family, creating something beautiful in this concrete jungle. Until the Martinez family moved in next door 6 months ago. Rebecca's face turned red. Tyler hid behind her legs, dirt still caked under his fingernails. My destroyed plants lay scattered across the fence line like casualties of war. He's just a kid, Rebecca snapped. Kids make mistakes. This is the 5th time this month. You're being dramatic. I pointed to my ruined garden. 3 months of work. Gone. Rebecca grabbed Tyler's hand and stormed back to her house. The slam of her door echoed through the neighborhood. That's when I knew this was just the beginning. I'm a quality control manager at Henderson Manufacturing. 23 years on the job. I believe in order, structure, respect for boundaries. These values built my career, built my life. My garden was my sanctuary. Every morning before work, I check my plants, water them, talk to them. My wife Linda always laughed at that habit. Plants don't have ears, David. Maybe not, but they have souls. The garden connected me to my father. He taught me to grow things when I was Tyler's age. A man who can create life from soil, he'd say. That's a man with purpose. Now Tyler Martinez was destroying that purpose, one trampled plant at a time. I installed a security camera that weekend, hidden behind my garden gnome. If Tyler came back, I'd have proof. Monday morning brought rain. I checked my plants before work, umbrella in hand. The tomatoes were recovering. The peppers looked strong. Then I heard it, the sound of snapping branches. Tyler was back, this time with a stick, beating my sunflowers like they were piñatas. "Hey!" I shouted. Tyler dropped the stick and ran, but my camera caught everything. I knocked on Rebecca's door at 6 p.m. sharp. The footage was crystal clear on my phone screen. "Look at this." Rebecca barely glanced at the video. "Tyler was just playing. Playing? He's destroying my property." "It's just plants, David. They'll grow back." Just plants. The words hit me like a slap. These aren't just plants. This garden feeds my family. It's my passion, my connection to my father who died last year. Rebecca's expression didn't change. "That's not my problem." She closed the door in my face. That night, I couldn't sleep. Linda found me staring out the kitchen window at 2 a.m. "Come to bed, honey." "She doesn't care, Lynn. Her kid could burn down our house, and she'd call it playing." Linda rubbed my shoulders. "Maybe we should talk to other neighbors, get their perspective." The next morning, I visited Mrs. Patterson across the street. She's lived here 40 years, knows everyone. "Oh, Tyler," she sighed, "that boy has issues." "What kind of issues?" "He threw rocks at my cat last week. When I told Rebecca, she said Whiskers probably deserved it." My blood ran cold. "He hurt your cat?" "Whiskers is fine, but that child has no boundaries, no consequences." Mrs. Patterson poured us coffee. Her kitchen smelled like cinnamon and old roses. "Rebecca divorced last year," she continued. "Messy split. She's working 2 jobs now. Tyler spends most afternoons alone." For a moment, I felt sympathy. Single parenting couldn't be easy. Then I remembered my destroyed sunflowers. "That doesn't excuse the behavior." "No," Mrs. Patterson agreed. "It doesn't." I spent my lunch break at the hardware store, bought materials for a proper fence, 6 feet tall, privacy panels. If Rebecca wouldn't control Tyler, I'd control access. The fence went up that weekend. Linda helped me dig post holes. Our neighbors watched from their windows. "Think this will work?" Linda asked. "It has to." Monday morning brought a nasty surprise. Someone had spray painted "mean old man" across my new fence in bright red letters. The security camera told the story. Tyler Martinez, 11 p.m. Sunday night, clear as day. This time I didn't knock on Rebecca's door. I called the police. Officer Williams arrived 20 minutes later. Young guy, professional demeanor. He watched the footage twice. "That's vandalism," he said. "Clear-cut case." "What happens now?" "I'll talk to the mother, issue a warning. If it happens again, we can press charges." Rebecca's voice carried across both yards when Officer Williams knocked. Loud, angry, defensive. My son would never do that. I couldn't hear the officer's response, but Rebecca's voice got louder. That man is harassing my family. Tyler's just a child. The conversation lasted 30 minutes. When Officer Williams returned, he looked tired. She's not taking responsibility, he said. Claims the video could be faked. Says you have it out for her kid. What's my next step? Document everything. Keep recording. If he damages your property again, call us immediately. That afternoon, I found Tyler in my backyard. He'd climbed over the fence, somehow squeezed through a gap between panels. My pepper plants lay uprooted around him like evidence of a crime scene. Tyler, stop. He looked up. No fear, no guilt, just defiance. You can't tell me what to do. This is my yard, my property. I don't care. He grabbed another pepper plant and yanked it from the soil. Roots dangled like broken fingers. Something snapped inside me. Get out right now. Tyler smiled, actually smiled. Then he stomped on my remaining tomatoes before climbing back over the fence. I stood there shaking, not from anger, from helplessness. This 7-year-old had declared war on my life, and his mother was his commanding officer. Linda found me sitting in the dirt an hour later, surrounded by plant casualties. Oh, David, he's not going to stop, Lynn. This kid enjoys destroying things. What did the police say? Document everything, keep recording, same useless advice. Linda helped me salvage what plants we could. Most were beyond saving. Maybe we should move, she said quietly. Move? We've lived here 12 years. This is our home. But if this continues, no, I won't be driven out by a 7-year-old terrorist and his enabling mother. That night, I researched property law, trespassing statutes, harassment definitions, neighbor dispute resolution. The law was clear. Tyler was trespassing, Rebecca was liable for damages, but enforcement seemed impossible. How do you arrest a 7-year-old? Wednesday brought escalation. Tyler didn't just destroy plants this time. He defecated in my garden. Human feces, right in my tomato bed. I stared at the mess, stomach churning. This wasn't childish mischief anymore. This was psychological warfare. The security footage showed Tyler squatting deliberately, looking directly at the camera, smiling. I called Officer Williams immediately. This crosses every line, I told him. This is biological warfare. I understand your frustration, Mr. Chen, but the child is 7 years old. The system isn't equipped to handle. What system? What about my rights? My property? Document it, clean it up. We'll add it to the file. The file. Like Tyler was building a resume for future criminal behavior. I spent 2 hours in hazmat gear, disinfecting my garden. The smell lingered for days. Linda barely spoke to me that evening. She sat at the kitchen table, staring at her untouched dinner. This is consuming you, David. Consuming me? That kid just took a dump in our food garden. I know, it's horrible. But look at yourself. You're obsessed. I'm defending our home. You're becoming someone I don't recognize. Her words stung more than Tyler's vandalism. That weekend, I installed motion-activated sprinklers, industrial grade, the kind used to deter deer and raccoons. If Tyler wanted to play games, I'd play games. Monday morning brought screaming from next door, high-pitched, angry, Tyler's voice. I checked the security footage. Tyler had climbed the fence at 7 a.m. The sprinklers caught him perfectly, soaked him head to toe in ice-cold water. He ran home crying. Victory felt sweet for exactly 10 minutes. Then Rebecca Martinez appeared at my front door, furious, dripping wet herself. You assaulted my child. I installed sprinklers on my property. Tyler was trespassing. He could have been injured. Those things are dangerous. More dangerous than human feces in a vegetable garden? Rebecca's face went pale. What are you talking about? Your son defecated in my garden last week. I have it on video. For the first time, Rebecca looked genuinely shocked. Tyler wouldn't. He's potty trained. He wouldn't do that. I showed her the footage on my phone, and watched her face change from denial to horror to something else, something that looked like recognition. "Oh, God," she whispered. "You knew." "No, I mean, Tyler's been having behavioral issues since the divorce. His therapist said acting out was normal, but this?" She sat down on my porch steps, suddenly looked exhausted. "I work 16 hours a day just to keep us afloat. Tyler's alone so much. I know he's angry about the divorce, about moving, about everything changing." For a moment, I saw her clearly, not as my enemy, as an overwhelmed single mother drowning in circumstances beyond her control. But then I remembered my destroyed garden, my father's legacy trampled into dirt. "I understand you're struggling, Rebecca, but that doesn't give Tyler the right to destroy my property, to terrorize my family." "I know, you're right. I'll talk to him." "Talking isn't enough anymore. He needs consequences, real ones." Rebecca nodded slowly. "What do you want me to do?" "Ground him. No outside play for 2 weeks. Make him write an apology letter and pay for the damaged plants." "We don't have money for—" "Then Tyler can work it off, yard work, supervised by you, on weekends." Rebecca looked like I'd asked her to donate a kidney, but she nodded. "Okay, I'll make this right." She kept her word for exactly 4 days. Thursday afternoon, Tyler was back in my yard, this time with scissors, cutting the heads off my remaining flowers. The sprinklers soaked him again. He just laughed and kept cutting. I ran outside. "Tyler, stop." "Make me, old man." Old man, 7 years old and already showing contempt for adults. "Where's your mother?" "At work. She's always at work." Tyler threw the scissors at my feet and climbed back over the fence. I called Rebecca immediately. "I'm at my second job," she said. "I can't leave." "Your son just destroyed more plants, with scissors this time. I'll talk to him tonight." "You said that last week. Nothing changes." "I'm doing my best, David." "Your best isn't good enough." I hung up and called Officer Williams again. "Same kid?" he asked. "Same kid. Escalating behavior. Now he's using tools to cause damage." "We'll send someone over." This time, a different officer arrived. Older, more experienced. Officer Rodriguez had seen everything in 30 years on the force. "Show me what happened." I played the footage. Officer Rodriguez watched without expression. "Kid's got problems," he said finally. "What can you do about it?" "Honestly, not much. He's 7. Even if we arrest the mother for negligent supervision, Tyler goes into the system. Foster care. That's not better for anyone." "So he just gets away with it?" "I didn't say that." Officer Rodriguez studied my fence, my garden, my security setup. "You've done everything right, Mr. Chen. Documented everything, protected your property, but sometimes the law can't fix neighbor problems." "Then what can?" "Community pressure. Make this Rebecca's problem with everyone, not just you." That night, I knocked on every door in our neighborhood, showed the footage to anyone willing to watch. Mrs. Patterson had already experienced Tyler's behavior. The Johnsons at the corner house had similar stories. "He threw mud at our windows last month," Mrs. Johnson said. When I called Rebecca, she claimed Tyler was at school that day. The Hendersons next to them nodded grimly. "Stole packages off our porch," Mr. Henderson added. Rebecca said we had no proof. By the end of the evening, I'd collected statements from 8 neighbors. Tyler Martinez wasn't just targeting me, he was terrorizing the entire block. And Rebecca was covering for him every time. Friday morning, I organized a neighborhood meeting. 15 residents showed up. Everyone had Tyler stories. "This can't continue," Mrs. Patterson said. "We shouldn't have to lock up our property because one child has no boundaries." "What do we do?" asked Mr. Johnson. "We present a united front," I said. "Make it clear that Tyler's behavior affects everyone, that Rebecca needs to take action or face consequences." "What consequences?" Mrs. Henderson asked. "Homeowner association violations, noise complaints, property damage claims. Make her life as difficult as she's made ours." Some neighbors looked uncomfortable with that approach, but everyone was tired of Tyler's reign of terror. We scheduled a meeting with Rebecca for Saturday morning. She didn't show up. I knocked on her door at the appointed time. No answer. Her car was gone. Tyler answered after the fifth knock. Where's your mom? Working. She was supposed to meet with the neighbors this morning. Tyler shrugged. She said you're all crazy. Crazy. Rebecca had dismissed the entire neighborhood as crazy. That afternoon, Tyler outdid himself. He didn't just trespass in my yard. He brought friends, 3 other kids from somewhere in the neighborhood. They turned my garden into their personal playground, throwing dirt, using my tomato stakes as swords, urinating on my fence. The sprinklers activated, but 4 kids could overwhelm the system. They just moved to dry spots and continued their destruction. I called the police. This time I demanded immediate response. Multiple children are destroying my property right now. This is happening as we speak. 2 patrol cars arrived within minutes. Officers Rodriguez and Williams both responded. The kids scattered when they saw the police, but the damage was done. My entire garden looked like a war zone. This has to stop, I told the officers. Where are the parents? Officer Rodriguez asked. Rebecca Martinez is at work. The other kids, I don't know. We'll find them. It took 2 hours to track down the other parents. When they saw the security footage, their reactions ranged from shock to embarrassment to anger. My son knows better than this, said one mother. He's grounded for a month. Where did they get the idea this was okay? Asked another father. Officer Rodriguez had the answer. Tyler Martinez appears to be the ringleader. He brought them here, encouraged the behavior. Rebecca finally arrived home at 8 p.m. 3 police cars were waiting in her driveway. The conversation was loud enough for the entire neighborhood to hear. Your son organized a group destruction of Mr. Chen's property, Officer Rodriguez explained. This goes beyond childish mischief. This is coordinated vandalism. Tyler's just 7 years old. Age doesn't excuse behavior, ma'am, and it doesn't excuse parental negligence. I work 2 jobs. I can't watch him every second. Then you need to find childcare or face charges for contributing to the delinquency of a minor. That got Rebecca's attention. Charges? Your son has destroyed property multiple times. You've been warned repeatedly. You've failed to supervise or discipline him. That makes you liable. Rebecca looked around at her neighbors watching from windows and porches. 15 families staring at her with a mixture of anger and disappointment. For the first time, she seemed to understand the scope of the problem. What do you want me to do? Supervise your child, get him counseling, make restitution for damages, and apologize to this neighborhood. Rebecca's shoulders sagged. How much restitution? I'd calculated the damages carefully. Plants, materials, cleaning supplies, fence repairs, $800. I don't have $800. Then Tyler works it off. Supervised community service. Every weekend until the debt is paid. Rebecca looked at Tyler, who was hiding behind her legs again. But this time he looked scared instead of defiant. Fine, she said quietly. We'll make it right. The next morning, Tyler knocked on my door at 9 a.m. sharp. Rebecca stood behind him, looking exhausted but determined. Tyler has something to say, she prompted. Tyler looked at his shoes. I'm sorry I wrecked your garden. Look at Mr. Chen when you apologize, Rebecca said firmly. Tyler raised his eyes. For the first time, I saw something other than defiance there. Maybe shame, maybe fear, maybe the beginning of understanding. I'm sorry, Mr. Chen. I won't do it anymore. Thank you, Tyler. Apology accepted. Rebecca had brought work gloves and tools. Where do we start? We spent 4 hours rebuilding my garden. Tyler worked alongside his mother, removing damaged plants and preparing soil for new ones. He was surprisingly strong for a 7-year-old and surprisingly focused when given clear instructions. Why do you like gardening so much? He asked while we planted new tomatoes. My father taught me when I was your age. It connects me to him. My dad doesn't live with us anymore. I know. That must be hard. Tyler nodded. Mom cries sometimes. She thinks I don't know, but I hear her. I looked at Rebecca, who was pretending not to listen while she weeded nearby. Your mom loves you very much, Tyler. She's working hard to take care of you. Then why is she always gone? The question hung in the air between us. Rebecca stopped weeding. Because I have to work to pay for our house and food and everything we need. she said gently. But that doesn't mean I don't want to spend time with you. You could spend time with me here, Tyler said, helping Mr. Chen. Rebecca and I exchanged glances. Neither of us had expected that suggestion. Would that be okay with you, Mr. Chen? Rebecca asked. I thought about it. Tyler was still Tyler. Rebecca was still overwhelmed, but maybe structure and supervision could channel his energy differently. We could try it, Saturdays, for as long as it takes to restore the garden. It took 6 weeks. Every Saturday, Tyler and Rebecca worked in my garden. Tyler learned to plant seeds, water carefully, and identify weeds from vegetables. Rebecca learned that Tyler responded better to clear expectations than to threats or bribes. I learned that Tyler wasn't really a demon child. He was a confused, angry kid, acting out because his world had been turned upside down. The breakthrough came on week 4. Tyler was transplanting pepper seedlings when he suddenly stopped working. Mr. Chen, why didn't you call the police the first time I messed up your plants? I wanted to give you a chance to learn better. But I didn't learn better. I got worse. Yes, you did. Tyler considered this. I was mad about everything. Moving here, Dad leaving, Mom being shouted out all the time. Being mad is okay, Tyler, but taking it out on other people isn't. I know that now. He went back to planting, but something had shifted. His movements were more careful, more respectful of the plants. These peppers will be ready in August, he asked, if we take good care of them. Can I help harvest them? I looked at Rebecca, who was watching our conversation with tears in her eyes. I'd like that, I said. By week 6, my garden was more beautiful than it had ever been. Tyler had suggested improvements I never would have thought of. A butterfly garden section, a small herb spiral, a bench where we could sit and admire our work. You have a natural talent for this, I told him. Tyler beamed. Really? Really, you understand how plants want to grow. Rebecca packed up the tools for the last time. I guess this is it. Debt paid. But Tyler looked disappointed. We're not coming back? Mr. Chen doesn't need our help anymore. I'd been thinking about this moment all week. The garden was restored, justice was served, but something more had grown here than just vegetables. Actually, I said I could use regular help maintaining everything. If you're interested. Tyler's face lit up. Yes, Rebecca smiled. Are you sure we've caused you enough trouble? You've also brought new life to this garden and to this neighborhood. It was true. Other neighbors had started talking to Rebecca. Mrs. Patterson had invited Tyler to help with her flower beds. The Johnsons asked Rebecca to join their book club. Tyler had become the neighborhood mascot instead of its menace. 3 months later, Tyler knocked on my door with a school project in his hands. I wrote about gardening, and he said proudly, "Want to hear it?" He read me 3 pages about plant life cycles, soil composition, and the importance of patience in growing things. Gardens teach us that beautiful things take time, he concluded, and that taking care of something makes it grow better. That's wonderful, Tyler. What grade did you get? A plus, and Mrs. Martinez wants me to read it to the whole class. Rebecca appeared behind him. He talks about gardening constantly now. I think you've created a monster. But she was smiling. Rebecca smiled a lot these days. Actually, she continued, I have something to tell you. I got promoted at work. Better hours, better pay. I won't need the second job anymore. That's fantastic news. It means I can spend more time with Tyler. Maybe take over some of the garden work. I'd welcome the help. That evening, Linda and I sat on Tyler's bench, watching the sunset through our thriving garden. Remember when you wanted to call the police on a 7-year-old? Linda teased. He was a legitimate menace. He was a hurt kid who needed structure and attention. Same thing, really. Linda laughed. You've gotten soft in your old age, David Chen. Maybe, or maybe I've learned that some problems can't be solved with rules and boundaries. What solves them? I thought about Tyler's transformation, Rebecca's growth as a mother, the neighborhood coming together instead of falling apart, time, patience, and giving people room to become better than they were. A year later, Tyler's garden section produced the biggest tomatoes in the neighborhood. He entered them in the county fair and won second place. Next year, I'm going for first, he told me confidently. What makes you think you can beat me? I challenged. Because you taught me everything you know, and I'm younger and hungrier. Rebecca laughed. Don't let him get too cocky, David. A little confidence never hurt anyone. Besides, competition makes us all better gardeners. Tyler grinned and ran off to water his plants. Thank you, Rebecca said quietly, for not giving up on us. Thank you for not giving up on him. We stood together watching Tyler tend his garden with the same care and attention I'd once reserved for my own plants. The demon child was gone. In his place stood a young gardener with dirt under his fingernails and purpose in his heart. Sometimes the best victories are the ones where everybody wins.